It is Friday, December 1st. Here's what we're working on this morning. The truce between Hamas and Israel is over. Combat operations have resumed.
Airports in Hamilton and Toronto ready for the winter.
An unmanned rocket has successfully launched on a supply mission to the International Space Station. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. It's a special day for Brian. I'm going to let him take over.
Thank you. Okay, I look forward to this every month. It's the 1st of the month. I got to do it a lot today because next month I won't be, being New Year's morning.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be very happy not to be here.
Yeah, so I got to say it, the 1st of the month. Yeah, and it doesn't feel like December.
Oh,
I'll tell
it's
you.
downright balmy.
It really is. Our temperature is plus 7 degrees. We got to 9 throughout the overnight
Beautiful
hours.
day yesterday.
And yesterday was just a gorgeous. I mean, a touch windy, but we have that southerly flow. But yeah, a beautiful sunny day yesterday. We sat around 8 degrees during the day, but we climbed around midnight to 9. We've dipped back a bit now to 7. We should sit around 5 for the day today. So the temperature could fall just a little bit, but the rain is going to settle in, so it's going to be a wet day. Later on this morning, the rain will start. It'll continue today, tonight, into the early part of the day tomorrow, then taper off. But yeah, mild temperatures for the day. And tomorrow, actually. We'll talk about that, but right now, look at traffic. Nothing to see. Friday, volumes are usually fairly light. Still fairly light here, 403 Waterdown Road. MTO traffic cameras, just a few, start in Stony Creek, Stony Creek coming out of Stony Creek toward the Skyway. Centennial Parkway, no problems. Top of the Skyway through to Appleby Line, Burlington, Oakville, and Mississauga actually doing fine so far today. All right, we'll look at weather and traffic in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, there is renewed fighting in the Gaza Strip this morning. Israel resumed combat operations against Hamas minutes after a week-long ceasefire ended. Simone Gavros joins us in studio now with the latest.
Hi, Annette. Well, Israel is accusing Hamas of violating the truce and firing a rocket at Israel just over an hour before the truce was set to expire at 7 a.m. in the region, as well as backing out on the deal to free all women hostages. Now, there's been no immediate comment from Hamas or claim of responsibility for the launch that ended the ceasefire. Hamas is blaming Israel, saying it declined to free more hostages. This is the scene this morning in Gaza, with clouds of smoke and explosions being seen across the skyline. Now, Palestinians in Khan Yunis were fleeing their homes today as the fighting restarts. Residents say Israel is urging them to leave parts of southern Gaza as they prepare to widen its offensive. The truce was extended twice and allowed for the release of dozens of hostages held in Gaza in return for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Now, much needed humanitarian aid was also able to enter the besieged region. So the Foreign Ministry of Qatar, who has been a mediator during the ceasefire agreement, says that negotiations are ongoing to renew the truce. Tim, I'll send things over to you.
All right, thanks, Simone. Well, Hamilton police say shots were fired at Caroline Street South and King Street West. This happened yesterday afternoon. The incident caused a second day of lockdowns at Bernie Custis Secondary School.
Officers quickly went into the area and were able to receive information that an altercation occurred between 2 individuals believed to be in their teens and 2 other individuals believed to be wearing reflective vests. Police searched the area and were able to confirm that the individuals fled the area immediately after the shot was fired.
Investigators say they received information that one of the suspects involved in the shooting may have gone to the area around Bernie Custis Secondary School or even entered the school. The school, as well as Prince of Wales Elementary School nearby, they were placed under lockdown just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Officers searched the school and confirmed the suspects never did enter. Police say the incident is not related to the lockdown just the day before, which resulted in the arrest of a 15-year-old boy on drug charges.
A group of people in an encampment in Brantford say they are facing eviction today. Six Nations of the Grand River is ordering them off a wooded area where they've set up tents. As many as 50 people are believed to be staying in this area. A statement from Six Nations says the people unlawfully on our territory need to respect our land. Six Nations says it expects a joint effort of their police department and Brantford Police to enforce the order today. One of the people living in the encampment says that they don't have anywhere else to go.
A Brantford mother who lost her daughter to the opioid crisis in September is speaking out about the importance of learning how to use naloxone properly. At just 33 years old, Brittany Silvestri died of a drug overdose in a Brantford apartment, leaving behind a baby girl. Her mom, Krista, says a friend was able to revive Silvestri with 2 doses of naloxone after she overdosed, but she refused hospital treatment and died just hours later. The Grand River Community Health Center says naloxone is the first step that must be followed by emergency care.
My daughter thought that she would be okay, and naloxone did not save her, and it won't save you.
Brantford Brant consistently has an increased or an elevated overdose and death rate compared to the province. I really do want to emphasize that it is a crisis in our country and in our community.
So between November 1st and November 27th, the local health unit recorded 27 suspected drug poisonings. With the exact cause, it hasn't been identified. The unit suspects fentanyl as well as contaminated drug supply could have been the issue. The unit recommends using online safer consumption services like the Brave app, which connects people with remote supervision online.
Officials at Hamilton International and Pearson International airports are preparing for a busy winter travel season, with changes being made to avoid the stress and the chaos from last year.
We have a team here 24/7 clearing the runways, making sure the aprons are ready to go so that aircraft can come and go as needed. And as well, for those passengers coming to the airport, we have a team groundside as well, making sure that our parking lots and roads are clear for access.
The Greater Toronto Airports Authority, which runs Pearson, has increased staffing, expanded de-icing capacity, newly commissioned advanced snowplows, and better technology to predict weather and delay forecasting. At Pearson, a new service called YYZ Express allows travelers to actually book their spot in the security line before you even get to the airport. And Canada's border agency is being called out for not documenting how and why it singles out certain air passengers for those secondary inspections. The National Security and Intelligence Review Agency found the border agency relies on information and intelligence from a number of sources to determine who is at risk, but it fails to properly document their reasoning when selecting those individuals. The border agency's poor documentation has made it difficult to ensure that their decisions comply with legal and regulatory restrictions. An uncrewed delivery is now heading to the International Space Station.
And liftoff of the 86 Progress resupply vehicle for its 34 orbit journey to the International Space Station.
It is now safely in orbit following a launch at about 4:30 this morning. This resupply vessel is carrying nearly 3 tons of fuel, food, and supplies to the crew members on board the ISS. It's expected to dock around 6 in the morning Eastern Time on Sunday.
Sports line we go. Let's start with the Maple Leafs, who are back on home ice, welcoming the Seattle Kraken into the bank. And despite getting a win Tuesday over Florida, some of their stars have struggled as of late, like Mitch Marner.
There you go. Leaf pass from Marner working in, scores! Hat-trick for Mitch Marner, and here they come.
No struggles last night for Marner, who was sporting the fishbowl mask after taking a puck to the chin on Tuesday. Well, he might not take it off. He recorded his second career hat-trick with that goal in the second to make it 3-1. Toronto's had trouble closing out games, though, and Seattle came back to tie it and force overtime, where Joseph Woll made a game saver in free hockey, getting the old pillow over to get that one. Off to the shootout, where guess who comes through? Marner. Scores the winner. 4-3 the final. 10th time Leafs have went to extra hockey, their 7th win, and welcome Boston into the bank tomorrow.
They battle back in the game. They're battling for these loose pucks. Jari, he's going for the empty net. Bouncing towards the goal. He scores!
Yeah, fun moment in Tampa as Tristan Jarry became the first Penguins goalie ever to score a goal late in the third with the net empty, all part of a 39-save effort from Jari and a 4-2 win over the Lightning. So that is the 17th goalie goal in NHL history, 14th different goalie to do it. Marty Brodeur has 3. Ron Hextall has done it twice.
SGA with 11 as we're under a minute to go. SGA making his move on Prince. That time he got fouled. Prince a little late on the closeout.
It's weird to say this, but I think Hamilton, Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander might be having a better start to the year this year than last year when he had his coming out party. Last night from OKC, LeBron and the Lakers were in town, and SGA put on a show as he does night in, night out. He would drop 33 points in the 133-110 win over the Lakes show. That's their 12th win of the year to 6 losses. Raptors back on court tonight when they host the Knicks at Scotiabank.
To the left. Looks toward Lamb. Shoulder shake. Throws. That's going to be caught by Ferguson. Touchdown.
Yeah, entertaining Thursday nighter from Dallas to kick off Week 13 of the NFL season. Cowboys are tough to beat right now, especially at home. Seattle in town. Hung in tough with Dak Prescott and the boys. Hooking up with Jake Ferguson. That touchdown, that was the difference. Micah Parsons put it away with that sack on Geno Smith. Dallas has won 14 straight at home, 41-35 the final. They moved to 8-3 to keep pace with the first place Eagles. And just when you think the Bills' season cannot get any worse, comes news that star linebacker Von Miller has been accused of assault by his longtime pregnant girlfriend, with the investigation determining the two got into a verbal argument with Miller assaulting the victim. So he turned himself in after an arrest warrant was issued yesterday afternoon. He was released on a $5,000 bond. Buffalo is currently on a bye week.
6:11 is the time, and once again, it's Friday, the 1st of December. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, and we'll talk about how mild it's going to be coming up. But first of all, quick check on traffic. Nothing happening 403 Waterdown Road. That's our exclusive camera, and pretty light volume so far today. No collisions. Construction, yeah, still a little bit to our MTO traffic cameras into St. Catharines, QEW, and Glendale. Both directions pretty light so far today. Nothing again at Centennial Parkway to the 403 junction around Brant Street, all doing fine. Oakville, east of Royal Windsor, just around the Ford plant, looks good. And so does here, Ontario, going through Mississauga. So not a lot going on the roads. Look at this temperature to start the morning here. First of the month, 6 degrees is our temperature. We were 7 last hour. We did get to 9 at midnight last night, but the temperature is dipping a little bit. The winds are shifting around west-northwest, but they'll be fairly light throughout the day today. Once again, like yesterday, low risk category as far as air quality is concerned today. Today we're going to sit around 5 degrees, so temperature could drop a little bit again, but that rain is going to settle in. So a mild day, that's above seasonal, but a wet day as you head off to school. And the reason for the wetness, that low pressure system getting closer to us. It's going to push its way across southern Ontario. Ahead of it, that line of precipitation, that rain will settle in later on this morning, continue for the afternoon tonight, and even into tomorrow. And Sunday, yeah, still some showers. It's going to be an unsettled weekend. But today, 6, 7 degrees, 5 this end of the lake, but as I said, cloudy, and the rain settles in. 4 for Peel and Toronto. Tonight, temperature doesn't hardly drop. Fog will develop. The rain will stay with us. Temperatures anywhere 3 to 4 degrees, 2 in some areas, as I said. Mixing precipitation is possible for Guelph and Kitchener. And then tomorrow, even milder, 6 and 7 degrees for the day tomorrow. The rain will stick around for the morning, will then taper off to just a fairly cloudy day in the afternoon. So out the door on this 1st of the month, we're looking at 6 degrees right now, cloudy, and yeah, that's mild for this time of year to kick off a morning. We'll look at the long-range forecast coming up. Annette, Tim.
Okay, now let's check in with Emily Vukovic to see what she's got coming up in Chit Chat.
Good morning. The Oscars, they're starting early next year.
I'm very happy about this.
I'm very happy. I'm sure Jamie Lee Curtis will be very happy too.
Start them in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's start earlier in the West Coast. Start in the afternoon here so we can watch them.
Let's make it a 9 a.m. start. I don't have a problem with that either. But we'll talk about that.
You could do an Oscars breakfast.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Yes.
We'll talk about that coming up.
Okay, we'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, coming up in business news, the Trans Mountain Pipeline ready to start taking money, but it's going to cost oil producers a lot more to use that route than initially planned. Just after 6:16 on your Friday morning. Yay, Friday. Canadian dollar up 15 basis points to 73.9 cents US. Gold is up $6.50. Crude is up 30 cents to $76.26 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe. Markets are up in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Off to Asia we go. Markets are down in Tokyo, Hong Kong, up slightly in Shanghai. North American markets wrapped up a very successful month of November. Some of the best gains they've seen in a couple of years. 120 gains for the TSX. Dow Jones, up 520. Slight losses for the NASDAQ. Let's see how they start a new month when the markets open on this Friday, December the 1st.
Well, our federal energy regulator has approved preliminary interim tolls for the expanded Trans Mountain pipeline. The approval will enable Trans Mountain Corporation to start charging oil shippers once the pipeline expansion is up and running early next year. The toll is set at $10.88 a barrel. It means oil companies will be paying nearly twice the amount that Trans Mountain had estimated just 6 years ago.
So streaming giant Netflix says the CRTC should recognize the role it already plays in helping fund Canada's broadcasting industry, and they should not have to make additional payments on top of that. But if the federal regulator does move ahead with requiring foreign streamers to kick in on Canadian content, Netflix says that tax should be no more than 2% of annual revenues, which they say is in line with other jurisdictions. The comments, they come as Netflix appeared at the CRTC hearing, which is part of public consultations around the Online Streaming Act.
U.S. federal safety regulators are trying to make baby loungers safer. They are proposing a major redesign of the products after dozens of deaths connected with their use. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission now requires manufacturers to make all lounger surfaces sufficiently firm to reduce the risk of suffocation. There were at least 79 deaths from 2010 to 2022 involving the infant support cushions, including 8 babies who died while lying on Bobby newborn loungers like these ones. 3 million of this type were recalled in 2021.
Well, at long last, that truck that you drew in kindergarten has finally come to life. Tesla says it has started delivering its long-touted Cybertruck. At an event last night in Austin, CEO Elon Musk showed off his truck of the future. The event comes weeks after the CEO tempered investors' expectations, saying there were problems ramping production of what he says is a radical product. Well, the style of the truck might not be to everyone's liking. To its credit, it does 11,000 pounds of towing. That's like the capacity, and goes 0 to 100 in just over 2.5 seconds. Musk says that makes it faster than a Porsche 911 while towing a Porsche 911. And they showed a video of the two actually doing that, and it did beat a Porsche 911.
Instagram's parent company Meta is suing the U.S. Federal Trade Commission to block new restrictions on kids' data, calling the limitations an unconstitutional abuse of government power. The filing comes after a ruling earlier this week allowing regulators to reopen Meta's landmark $5 billion privacy settlement from 2020. The FTC claims Meta has violated terms of that settlement, and in May of this year placed new restrictions on the company that ban Meta from monetizing the user data of children. Regulators also called for new limitations on Meta's use of facial recognition. A U.S. federal judge has ruled that the FTC proceeding can go ahead. Meta quickly followed with an appeal, then expanded its pushback with this lawsuit yesterday. If it's approved, the restrictions could significantly limit Meta's data-driven business, especially among younger users.
I don't know if you're like you. When I was talking about that Cybertruck, we didn't mention how much it was. So I immediately looked up how much it was. It actually starts at $60,000 for the base model.
Yeah, there's 3 models, right?
Yeah.
And the higher end one is less than $100,000.
Well, $99,990.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's see how they do. People will be buying them. Are you buying the forecast? Well, Brian Wood will be back with the look at the 7-day right after this.
Good morning, 624. Let's go right to our MTO traffic cameras. Friday morning, so light volume, and well, generally it was pretty light this time of the morning. Here's another one of the Dales in St. Catharines. We checked Glendale a while ago. Here's Martindale, so nothing there. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, pretty light volume so far today. Appleby line looks good. Same with Erin Mills Parkway going through Mississauga. How about the 403 this morning? No problems. 403 at Dundas Street, roundabout heading away from us. Temperatures right now, look how mild it is to start December. I mean, the cool spot is Grimsby sitting at 4. Otherwise, 6 for Hamilton and Mississauga, 7 for Toronto right now. Seasonal temperatures for this time of year, 3 for the daytime high. -4 for the overnight low. Now we climbed to 9 degrees at midnight last night, so that's how mild it is. Those are our sun times and our records for today. For school today, we could get some late showers, some rain just settling in this morning. About first bell, 5 degrees, and it's going to stay at 5 as that rain stays with us for the afternoon. So today, 5 degrees with the rain. Tonight, temperature only dips to 3 degrees, so a little bit cooler overnight tonight, but still way above seasonal. Rain tonight, rain again tomorrow early in the day, and then it'll taper off to just some clouds. Chance of showers Sunday, Monday fairly cloudy. We get back to some sunshine, but it does get cooler. 0 for Tuesday and Wednesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
So here's your chance to win $100 in Lotto Max with Encore Lottery tickets as I clear my throat.
Go ahead and do that. Tonight's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $20 million. That wouldn't be bad. Lotto Max, dream to the max. To enter, head to our contest page at chch.com/LottoMax.
Okay, just before we get to the bottom of the clock, Santa. Busy time of the year. Now that we're into December, it's prime time. And spreading his Christmas cheer on land and in water.
Here's the old guy and his helper in Germany, Necht Ruprecht, delivering treats to the good little fish at the Sea Life Aquarium in Munich. That tank holds about 400,000 liters of water, all kinds of sea life in there. Sea Life says Santa will be spending his pre-game days in the tank, spreading a little joy to visitors among the dreary weather.
He can do everything. He can scuba dive.
He can hold his breath for that long?
What? Goodness. Yeah, he's going to be in the area.
I bet when he gets out, too, like his suit is just instantly dry.
Yeah, instantly dry.
Magic.
He's in the area this weekend. I'm going to be seeing Santa on Saturday. Stony Creek Santa Claus Parade.
Very
so I'm going to
cool.
be in the
got
parade
your
there.
waving arm ready?
Yeah, it's going to be there we go. So come out and say hello on Saturday afternoon at Stony Creek Parade. And then he's going to Grimsby because then he's Grimsby on Saturday night.
So many spots.
Go.
So many spots.
We got to go. We'll see you in a couple minutes.